is going to be the part 2 of the design and implementation of intelligent transportation system. We are still in the topic 1, yeah. Okay, so let us talk about the design of the intelligent transportation systems, right? Basically, the illustration or the diagrams that that you see in the presentation slides basically is a slide in which I capture from the Asian Development Bank 2019 conceptual model, okay, the write-up or the blueprint for this intelligent transportation system projects. So basically, this conceptual design is an intelligent transportation system in which took place in Guian, province of Guizhou, right? They have developed a conceptual model for that particular province to develop the intelligent transportation system projects, right? So this so-called the system in engineering for this particular project provides the development of a system functional and physical requirement from a basic set of mission and objective. Yeah. So it is actually an interdisciplinary process that focuses on managing the risk in the design, the deployment, and maintenance of complex interacting elements over the life cycle of that particular project. Actually, you can get as many as the conceptual design of intelligent transportation system from the internet. Okay, there are so many conceptual model. There's so many kind of design and implementation being shared inside the Google. But I think this is one of the interesting one, okay, in which we can discuss on it for today. Yeah. All right. Basically, this, as I mentioned, this project basically is for the development of the intelligent transportation system. It comprises of 5 elements in which the regional planning, the analysis of intelligent transportation system, the specification development, implementation and testing, and last but not least is the manage, operate, and maintenance of the transportation system, right? So this project basically has twofold in terms of the objective. The first one, why this the design and they have the master plan of this, because to make sure that the projects being procured or the projects that being implemented will be on the budget and on specific schedule. They're not running out of the schedule. And also, this basically will help in terms of meeting all the objectives of that particular intelligent transportation systems project. Design also is intended to do with regard to the intelligent transportation system implementation must meet the objective within the budget and time, so to speak. Yeah, right. So if you look at here, okay, in terms of the regional planning, okay, the regional planning, it comprises of regional architecture, okay, and the activity involved inside the regional planning is the regional architecture. So basically, regional planning is the first step in the software engineering project, okay, for the ITS to develop the needs and also the specific objective of that particular project, right? And then after that, they will provide the architectural solution, okay, for the stakeholder in terms of understanding the input and output on the and also the information flows to each service in which they are participating, right? So basically, inside this, the regional architecture will be the current state of the current state of the existing of the infrastructure, and what to be in the future. Okay, what will be concluded inside the feasibility study for the future undertakings, right? Okay, so inside the RTS analysis, it will be the feasibility study, and then the concepts of the operations, the system requirements, right? The high level design and detailed design. What is the actually difference between the high level design and detailed design? Of course, there are two different components there. High level, basically to justify what are the best technologies that can be utilized. That is considered the high level design. Whereas when we talk about the detailed design, it will be discussed in terms of the necessary specification that will be utilized to implement the ITS, the future ITS, right? Then we go to the specification development. Okay, specification development. Yeah, it is involved the high level design and detail design, right? And as well as the software and hardware development field installation, right? And after you have the specific development, what are the things that you need to have in order for you to implement the intelligent transportation system? Okay, in terms of software and hardware, then go to the next one is the implementation and testing. So what is actually inside this implementation testing, right? So the first one is the system validation to make sure that the system that they install will be robust, yeah, will be utilized, acceptable by the user, and then the system verification and the deployment, subsystem verification, unit or device testing, so on and so forth, right? So these are the components, right? Implementation and specification is interdependent to each other, right? If let's say the implementation is not successful, it will be referring back to the specification to whether they have to remove the specs or to improve the spec, so on and so forth, right? And the last part will be the maintenance part, managing, operating, and maintaining the system. So inside this particular category, it is actually comprised of three main elements, in which the operations and maintenance, changes and upgrades, retirement and replacement. So this is actually to ensure that the system that we implement will be sustainable, robust enough, and meet the requirement of the user. That's why when maybe next time you are in the industry, if you are involved in the big projects like this one, developing the intelligent transportation system, for example, all right, you are going through all the processes, a very strategic and very step by step processes. Okay, starting from the planning, analysis, come up with the specification, implementation, testing, and the last part in terms of the maintenance. So all these specification, all these processes involved in a big organization, and of course there is a time duration. There will be a duration that involved. Maybe in terms of the hardest part is actually to get in this area is in terms of the analysis, to really understand what are the things that need to be developed, right? Once you understand into the processes, understanding the analysis, the development of the specification and testing will be not really difficult. And the last part, also the maintenance, okay, it also needs to be looked further, right? Sometimes the project is not viable, okay, at the end of it, and needs a lot of maintenance because of what? Because people take things for granted. in terms of the specifications. Then what happened to the maintenance? Did a lot of maintenance for that particular system, right? So this is the concept, so-called best practices introduced by the organization under this supervisions of the province of Guizhou. Okay, the municipal council of this of this province. They developed this concept on how to develop intelligent transportation system in their province, right? So this system also consider a bigger scope of the whole process. Sometimes you might involve in just a small projects, right? Maybe the scope is smaller. Your part is only to do an analysis, or maybe your part is doing on the getting the information, the requirement of that particular system, right? Whereas what you've seen inside this illustration is the bigger scope, is the comprise the detail of the system engineering project that will be utilized for that particular organization. So the reason I shared with you this this research basically for you to get some overview, what is actually how the process of this development of intelligent transportation system being implemented in whether it's whether it's an organization in the particular province or in particular states, or maybe in the particular country. They have blueprint out of it, right? Okay. Okay. So this is the result of all the detail, the final part. After you get all the information, the requirement, the specification, this is actually the result, the so-called the conceptual model for the development of this province of the ITS development in Guyana province of Guizhou. Okay, you can see that here inside here they have the support. Okay, what are the components inside the support, the center, right? What are the things that they're going to utilize? They call it the wide area wireless, the traveler, okay, vehicle, okay, what are the system involved here? Okay, so it is kind of a model that give you some understanding about the whole picture of the systems that is going to be implemented inside that particular province. Okay, and also from this, if you ask all the developer or the what you call those who are going to develop the particular system, they know already. Oh, inside this, in terms of support, they know what kind of systems they are going to develop for that particular intelligent transportation system. For the perspective in terms of the center, okay, what are the things inside here? In terms of the field, in terms of the traveler, they know already. So it's easy for them to specify who are the programmers, who are the developers, what kind of infrastructure, what kind of the hardware and software needed for this particular projects. Yeah. Okay, the detailed explanation about the concept you can reach from this particular website. Okay, I think this is very useful reading materials that you can obtain from the internet about this particular system. Okay, later on I'm going to share with you these the slides for today inside the Learning Portal, and feel free utilize your time to read about the concept that they introduce inside this particular site. Right. On the other hand, I also want to share with you one of the article that I managed to obtain from internet. In 2016, a researcher by the name of Professor Sulaiman from Turkey, he developed a paper, a study, basically a research on the preliminary work on predicting travel times and optimal routes using Istanbul real traffic data. Okay, the reason again I'm sharing you this one because I would like to you to understand in terms of the research involved with regard to the transportations. What are the things? What are the methodology used in terms of if you want to collect the data, in terms of the processes involved. So by reading these articles later on, you can appreciate what are the processes involved and how critical of this study to this particular area, which is Istanbul, on the understanding the real traffic data of that particular place, right? So the expected benefits of what are the things that I can obtain from this particular paper is the benefits of intelligent transportation system, which is once you develop ITS, you are helping the people out there to reduce traffic time waste. Most of the time, I think the last presentation I share in terms of the traffic wastage, every country punya traffic wastage, right? How many if certain country in overall in they do some prediction, they do some screening about the how long if the traffic jam happen in that particular capital city, how long is the wasting time that you have to that you have to apa nama ni tanggung because of the traffic punya issues so yeah, the benefits of ITS are reduce traffic time waste, reduce energy consumption. Of course, when there are so many cars inside the road, there are a lot of energy being consumed. Okay, and of course, it is going to increase the pollution. Okay, so why people nowadays they come up with the inventor nowadays they come up with these apa nama ni electric cars, hybrid cars, okay, to reduce the pollution, to reduce the emission gas to the greenhouse. Okay, so those are the things why we need this intelligent transportation system, right? To reduce energy consumption, right? Especially in terms of utilization of petrol, right? Most of the cars on the road they utilize a lot the petrol, okay, which is resulting in terms of the high numbers of energy being consumed. Okay, also in terms of improving the productivity. Okay, but when COVID-19 happened, we can see that I'm not sure whether the productivity is increased or decreased, but I believe that in some cases the productivity is increased because we can meet anytime, anywhere. We have the virtual platform in which we can do meetings online anytime. Just name it, whether it's the morning, in the afternoon, in the night. The boss can just conduct the meeting anytime. The most important that the objective of the organization is achieved, right? Maybe COVID-19 is a lesson learned from this COVID-19 is the new norm in which it changed how the people attitude towards working. Okay, last time a lot of face-to-face meetings, right? But this time around, no face-to-face, just meeting online, right? The next is to decrease of stress level. Okay, well, of course, a lot of research has been initiated. Okay, has been if you go and find try to search for any material articles, you can see that you know, there's a study on uh, the the uh, the kesan about this traffic uh, traffic jam towards the stress level of the people. Okay, it increased the stress level because, you know, sometimes you have to go and if you have some very urgent meeting, you have to cross the road, you have to use the road, but the road is traffic, a lot of traffic is there, right? It increase the stress to all the users, pengguna jalan raya, the users of the road, right? And also the last but not least is about to diminish traffic accident fatalities. Of course, um, um, traffic jam make people more stressed, okay? And of course, at the end of it, might the accident might happen because of this thing, right? So if you can see from here, there's some of the components used to collect the data for this particular research, to get the information about the vehicle movement. Okay, they use this radar-based sensor. These are some of the things that the researcher use to get the data about the about the car on the road. Right, they use the sensor. For example, the RMT this sensor, radar-based sensor by the name of RMTS, SX300. Okay, those are these devices used to collect the data from the traffic. Okay, so the traffic basically, the measurement of the data basically, they are collecting about the average speed, the volume of the cars, the occupancy, and the vehicle classification information. What kind of vehicle that is utilized on the road. Okay, so these are the in terms of the radar-based sensor. And also here, image processing sensor to collect live data on live videos of traffic observation cameras and analyze. It is kind of image processing sensors, right? To capture the movement of the cars with the live videos data, right? So they use this particular image processing sensor, okay, to capture the data, okay. So you see how critical it is. Yeah? They have all this sensor technology to capture this. The technology, the devices is already exist in the market, right? It can be used to capture all this information. They have these Bluetooth sensors in order to obtain the point-to-point journey times and calculate average speeds of the roads. Okay, I think some of the apps inside your handphone also they have some apps in which can calculate point-to-point journey, right? Let's say your like your Google Maps, okay, and there is a specific system also inside the internet in which you can calculate the distance from one destination to another destination with the specific and correct, accurate distance, right? So these are all the things devices use. And after they collect the data, they transform it into analysis. All right. So this is the table that I managed to capture from the journals, right? On this study, yeah. Okay. It is about how they capture in terms of the numbers of car inside the road on the road, yeah. Okay, the speed limit, right? And how many cars from this particular time. You can see, okay, how many cars from 1:01:00, okay, until 14 hours, right? So you can see about 2,400 cars is on the road, right? So you can see this is the after the utilizations of those sensor, it will transform into the data like this, right? And at the end of it, this is actually the real analysis and the predictions, right? So it will give you some sort of, based on the research, it will give the predictions in terms of the which route they can use, okay, according to the time. Say for route 1 for Monday, it will take you like 17.4 minutes for you to reach the destinations. Okay, traffic clock 50 minutes. Okay, and here is some of the algorithm they use. Okay, some mathematical formulations in order for them to calculate and transform it into these illustrations. The system itself, right? So what we can learn from here is some overview of how the research being done on the road transportation. Okay, it used several methods and devices for the data collection in order for them to um, solve the problems, come up with the solutions on how to improve the road traffic in that particular city, which is Istanbul. Okay, so on top of that, I managed to obtain some of the top smart traffic management startups. Startups, startup later I'm going to speak about startups. Startup, these startups companies, right? Like Remix, Streetlight, Mio Vision, Connected Signals. Those are companies that was being formed, being established to solve the problems from the perspective of transportation, right? For example, in this Remix, it builds transportation planning software for public agencies to design and plan maps, routes, and services. Streetlights data provide a platform for transportation analytics solution to improve the traffic, improve the transportation performance, right? The platform collects and process data to provide actionable insight for the transportation industry. Maybe when you talk about logistics, for instance, to manage the lorries, drivers, okay. Mio Vision is a company where provides traffic data collection and management solutions. It offers a planning collaborative software that enables transportation engineers and planners. What is I missed this one, right? To manage the traffic data collection projects. Yeah? And last but not least, Connected Signals, high-tech startup focused on providing traffic signal states and prediction to drivers, automakers, and others. Okay? So these are all the startups that is being established to solve problems with regard to the traffic management. And there are many more actually. This is one of the top one. They are global, they are overseas company, right? You can look into the perspective of Malaysia, right? But basically, this company kind of motivating us. There is actually a company or startup company exists to provide a solution with regard to transportation. Who knows, one day you are going to be whether inside this particular company or you are the one that is going to develop a company or in other words startups to solve the problems of the transportation of Malaysia per se. Yeah. Okay. Let us get out from our cocoon a bit. Right. Let us get out from our space a bit. Okay. What's in it for you about this study? Okay. I hope most of you have heard about startup. Okay. Startup sometimes, people call it a small business. Okay. Maybe there's some differences between a startup and a small business because startup is considered something got to do with beyond the capacity of the small business. It associates with a technology that can give you option to sell your products or service in a big market. It's not only maybe in the Malaysia perspective, you can sell your service or your products beyond Malaysia space, okay, beyond Malaysia, outside Malaysia, in more space, bigger market. So the question now, do you have what it takes for a career in technology with regard to the supply chain and logistics and transportation? Again, I would like to ask you, as you think about your career, to think about your career in the line of the technology with regard to the supply chain management, logistics and transportation. Okay, if you think about it, okay, sometimes some of you will think that, okay, I just once I finish my study, I'm going to work in any organizations, right? That is actually, yeah, to have that ideas also no problem. Okay, tak apa. But why not you think about beyond your capacity of beyond the limits of your thinking, right? Talking about what it takes for your career in technology. Okay, because we know that nowadays to work in organization is quite challenging, right? Because we see that this COVID-19 situation has impacted a lot in terms of industry. Asia has cut off the jobs, more than 2,000 jobless from Asia. It's not only Asia, most of the company, okay, they are lay off people, lay off their workers, right? So you are going to challenge. You have to when you finish your study, you have to challenge with a lot of people outside there. So from now onwards, I would suggest you guys to think about what are the careers that you can gain more, which is maybe develop a startup with your colleagues, with your kawan-kawan, your friends, right? With regard to that startup basically associate with the technology that link has the domain itself in the logistic and transportation. If they do, if the people from overseas can develop those things, why don't you? Okay, maybe you have some good ideas in this, right? But what is the point to have a good ideas if you're not able to articulate it? That's the major things. So you have to start to think about this, having your own startup, okay? Maybe from small ideas like, hobby, for instance, then it become startups. Not necessary for you to have, you need to have a good programming skills, or maybe to have some specific skills. Yes, to have a good skill, of course, that one can be developed later. But the most important is actually the ideas. But having a good ideas, but if you are unable to articulate, there's no point. Okay, so this has to be work from now. Think about it and start to develop your startup, right? So a startup is a young company founded by one or more entrepreneurs to develop a unique product or service and bring it to the market, right? By its nature, the typical startup tends to be a shoestring operation with initial funding from the founders or their friends and families, whatever, right? If there is a funding needed, right? Maybe you can start small, okay? Start small somewhere, okay? Find your ways on how to develop your own startup, having a good ideas, okay? It is a kind of motivation to you guys, right? I hope this is not stressing you guys lah. It's kind of motivation, okay? Because this is one way for you guys to gain money out of this current situation. Kan? Current situation is not really promising in terms of job, in terms of the money, in terms of many things, right? So maybe you're still young, you're still energetic. You need to think about something else, about how you want to take your career forward. All right. Okay, I think that's about it for today. Not really much on the okay, in terms of the content, but from now on, from now onwards, we're going to discuss about this, right? Okay, is there any questions from the viewers? Okay, question. Doktor kata nak buat poll untuk group assignment. Oh, group assignment, okay. Untuk group assignment, um, let me give some time because I'm looking for something else. Okay, give me some time to think about it. But currently, focus first on your assignment. Okay, your individual assignment. Okay, later I will come up with some ideas on how to come up with this, whether group assignment or individual assignment. Sorry, this is a group project. Projects for your final punya marks, for your project marks. Later I'm going to deliberate on it. Okay, ada soalan lain?
Sir.
Yeah.
I have problem for the individual assignment too.
Okay, what is that?
The title is safety issue and public health. How we can use IT to safeguard the public. The IT is mean that information technology or just now intelligent transport system.
Okay. IT basically information technology, right? But in your case, you can use your own creativity to decide whether you want to use ITS of that particular problem. ITS,
Okay.
it's not necessary from the perspective of information technology, because information technology is the big umbrella. And under the information technology, there is ITS, intelligent transportation system, there is software engineering, there is multimedia, there is neural network, artificial intelligence, so many things. Okay. AI is the bigger one. Okay.
Okay.
So you can use any kind of IT components, whether it is multimedia, whether it is a intelligent transportation system, or maybe you can use, artificial intelligence. It's up to you. Software engineering, for instance, problem, yeah.
So sir, this topic is focused on transportation only or other area pun boleh.
Okay, you can use the main objective is to harness your knowledge in terms of the transportation and logistics. But if you have more information about other field, like maybe you talk about artificial intelligence, right? Or maybe some financial technology. It's up to you. Okay, I give you freedom and your creativity to design.
Okay. Thank you, doctor.
Yeah. Right. Good. Anyone else to ask question? You have any problem with the assignment? Can write from the chat if you do not want to talk.
Hello, doctor.
Yeah.
I just want to ask the one presentation for this Thursday. For the introduction is we make just easy introduction like hi and just
just a very short one. Hi all, my name is here. Okay, I'm going to present. Okay, today is going to refer something like this. Don't straight away to your presentation slide. Just make some simple introduction about today class.
Okay, doctor. And the next question is, can we share the slide when we present the topic?
Of course, yes. You need to show your slides because you have developed the materials, right? You share your slides.
Okay. Thank you, doctor. That is my question only.
Okay. All right. Okay. Nurliana asking about reference nak guna APA style. Okay, just follow the standard that I give to the format that I give to you. If I'm not mistaken, that one is not APA style. Okay. If you understand APA style, it's up to you lah. But you can use the APA style also. But at this moment, just follow the standard. What style is that? I'm not sure. I have to check. Maybe IEEE style, if I'm not mistaken. That particular journal, they're following the IEEE. If you use APA, no problem. As long as that particular your write up following the format, following the formations of that of the journals that I give to you, you need to follow that line by line. All the standard, the reference also, just follow that. Okay. I think I'll give you already, is it the sample? Okay, the title is how can we use the IT to safeguarding the public? If I'm using intelligent transport, can I add system behind? Yes, no problem. No problem. Okay, intelligent transportation system, no problem. It's your call. I give you freedom to discuss. The most important is how you discuss the topic, right? Give the understanding about the how the IT can help those things, the health and safety. Okay, anyone else to ask question?
Doctor,
Yeah.
because your journal article is list out the citation is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I using the citation, it's also okay lah.
Okay, no problem lah. Tak apa lah. Like if you use the citation one, also I can accept it. Okay, you use the IPA style, right? Because the one that I give you is following the IEEE, if I'm not mistaken. IEEE punya setting, right? But if you want to use like EPA styles, citations, there is a name there, and the reference also is quite different bit. Is okay. I don't have any objection on that. As long as you follow the fragmentation, the fragment means the fragments, how they write the titles there, right? And all the what do you call it? The names, the emails, everything there. As long as we have that, I'm okay with that.
Okay. And then doctor, the outside there have the internet the journal for what journal, because we don't have the journal, right? It's mean like how to say
What was that?
above the title, right? They have the international of journal size or other things lah. Macam ada journal apa ke atas kan, doctor mana itu example.
Tak apa. Okay, if you want to avoid that also, you want to avoid that, it's okay. Okay, but the one, because that is the standard one. The standard, I just copy from my previous, right? That one is my article actually, my original article. I just give it to you. If you don't want to take out, you want to take out all those up there, no problem. I'm okay. All right.
Okay.
The most important, the content, and if you follow the format. Okay. The upper part, the journal, whatever atas tu, you can just ignore lah. Tak apa. Okay, doctor, can I manually, what is this? Aina Najah binti, because I'm using phone class. Apa, you nak add apa ya? Najah? I'm not sure. Okay, for those who are having class, you can left. I'm okay, all right? Just want to ask answer some questions here. Okay, can you get back to me? Okay, for those who are using phone, can you just update? You can ask me on the WhatsApp. All right. Okay, guys. I think you have next class. So see you this coming Thursday, our presentation. All right. Thank you, guys. See you again. Bye. Assalamualaikum.
Attendance.
Attendance. Oh, okay. I'm going back to that.